Hello everybody and welcome back to X4 Foundations, and hopefully the previous two episodes have allowed you to be able to start making a little bit of money. Now what I've done is I've set the ship on its little roundabouts. I actually changed it to silicon to see whether silicon would give us more money. It did give us more money, so we're going to have a look at that. But before I start, I just want to address a couple of things. Now we noticed that there were a lot of issues still with the tutorials. I've had some private messages from people who I know who've played the game and from people who have watched the video saying actually the tutorials still aren't that great. Now I haven't touched them because obviously I kind of know what I'm doing already, so to refresh I just looked over a couple of videos and then got back into it. So what I'm going to try and do on this episode is I'm going to try and call out the shortcut keys that I'm using, or how to get into a menu from where I'm at, just to try and help those who are new to the game to be able to actually navigate around the system. I apologize if you're just here for a refresher and that's not something you want. However, there are a lot of people who are new to the game since 3.0 and now 3.1 has been released, so hopefully you can bear with that and hopefully I don't miss too many times. The other thing is I actually set this off, went and got something to eat, came back, saved the game, closed the game and did nothing else. I've now reopened it again and we're going to go straight into it. Now we want to have a check out and see how our ship's done with silicon, and I want to show you how to see the difference between the two. The one thing I will comment, and I'll go through mainly when we're actually doing it, is some of the things that I've noticed people saying and some of the things to avoid during the economy kind of thing. Now to point out, and I think I did mention this at the beginning, and if I haven't I apologise, I have got mods on this. The mods that I use are more of a way of life mod, so I have it where the economy it reacts more with the AI. It's a better system, so the supply and demand's a bit better. I've put a list of the mods that I use down in the bottom, and you'll notice most of them are just things like economy changes and the war faction and stuff like that. Obviously with a war going on, there is a supply and demand straight away, and that's one thing to bear in mind, and I'll comment on it as we go through. But yeah, they're the mods that I use, and if you want to check them out, then make sure you check them out in the description below. But without further ado, let's get ourselves into where we're at with our ship, what kind of money we're making. You've just seen it pop up there. That does pop up, and that is how much we're making, but I want to show you something different so you can see historically how much it's been earning. And we want to start now trying to earn a bit more money so we can get that cash flow really flowing. But hopefully you like what we've done so far, so let's get straight into it. So I'm going to hit the M key now for our maps, and this is really the screen you can work from everything. So if you want to do anything whatsoever, hit your map and you can move around freely. These little icons here at the top, obviously you get your options, your player information if you want to know a bit more about you and how much you're earning, how much you're worth, how much inventory you've got, stuff like that. Your dock interactions, which obviously you can pull up anyway. The map itself, which we were already on, and an encyclopedia. This comes in with an inbuilt encyclopedia over the things. I hope I'm not going over this too fast for you. Please in the comments let me know, and I can go over a little bit more detail in a special video or in my next video if worse comes to worse. But I do want to kind of touch on everything. So back on our map, so as you can see we had barely any credits. We had about 30,000 credits, if that. I think it was 27,000. We're now up to 487,000. We have more credits now than what we started with, and as I said, I literally went away from the computer, had my what most of you probably call dinner. I'm British and I'm from the north, so I call it my tea. I went away, ate, must have been gone for about 45 minutes, an hour, come back, and that's the kind of credits I'm sat with. Let's have a look now as to why I've got so many credits. Now there are a couple of things you can do. Obviously you've got the kind of the things that pop up, but what we want to do is go into the player information here, and down these sides here there's a few options for us. Okay, so some of these things we'll be using at a later stage, but the one thing we want is our logbook. Now the logbook logs everything important in the game, and it is all important as well. When you start getting down into the nitty-gritty of the game, everything in this logbook will be important to you. It tells you your reputation, it tells you the tasks that are completed, tells you how much money things are making, and obviously the war update as well. The war update's useful because you can see the spread of the war, and whether you're in an area that needs to be, you need to reevaluate where you're going, or whether you need to pick a side. You can provide resources to any side that you're allied with. It doesn't matter if they are going to a war with the holy guys. I can't remember their full names. Names gone right out of my head. It doesn't matter if they're at war with them. You can provide supplies to both sides, but you can also reduce it down. Things like this. The upkeep. This tells me straight away that the actual item we're currently providing, which is 260 silicone, is a silicone refinery. We can see it's the same refinery every time. We can also see it's actually increasing in value, which means we're not supplying enough potentially to that silicone factory. So we've got an option here now, and I know someone commented on it saying, oh, I'm going to get loads of mining ships now and flood the mining system. Be careful. If you start putting in 4 or 5 mining ships for silicone, then the supply and demand is going to go away, and you're going to end up having ships not earning any money. If you don't pick up on that quickly, you could lose quite a lot of money, or a lot of potential money. And obviously you've still got an upkeep for the ship as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to start thinking about, right, so if we provide ore, which we did at the beginning, which is 15,000 credits. It's not a great amount, but is there a supply that we can provide here? We've actually, 50. Actually, it's been quite steady for silicon, so there's probably no room there for anything more really. So we're going to stick with our ship on silicon. We can get another ship and we can do the ore, and we can get 15,000 credits every time it delivers, or we can start looking at a courier, and whether distributing wares is going to be something that we want to look at. Now the difference, there are 2 things you can do. You can do distribution of wares and you can do trading. The slight differences between, there are slight differences between the 2. The main one is when you distribute wares, it will pick the closest that's profitable. Whereas trading, it will potentially go a long distance away to pick up the most profitable, even though the time it takes to get there may take longer, so therefore the amount you've earned per hour is less. And also distribute wares, it'll empty its whole cargo basically. So there are some slight differences, and if you want a more in-depth detail of the 2 differences, then let me know. I can go through them. But that's the main thing that you need to realize is, distributing wares may prove profitable over a quicker period of time because it will pick up something close by. What we want right now is something like distribute wares. You can clear your logbook if you want, but we're not going to clear it in the moment because obviously we're still starting out, so we want to see these kind of patterns here. We can see here, yeah, it is going up slightly, but is it going up enough? It probably isn't at the moment. There is another thing we can do to look at it. If we escape out of there, just for quick and ease, hit our M button for our map again, what we can do is we can have a look where it's delivering. And that's your mouse wheel. I'm going to explain mouse and keyboard. Joystick or gamepad is completely different. If you need to know that, then your best bet is just study the options. It's the easiest way. I've used the joystick before, the gamepad before, but I find mouse and keyboard so much better doing it. If you want to move your map around, just left click and drag, and your right click changes its orientation. Your pointers there. So our ship is here, delivering to the microchip factory. So let's have a look at the logical overview. And now it's not actually delivering to there. That's where the silicon wafers are being delivered to. Oh, we didn't want to close out of that. So where is he delivering to? He's actually just... What he's doing actually? What are you doing there? Have a look what you're doing. Right click, information. He's searching for resources. Okay, so he's filled, so he's picked up resources. So there must have been resources outside of the area of the map, that's fine. But this is where he's going to, silicon refinery. So one I should have mentioned. let's have a look at right click and logistical overview. Okay, so it's not telling us, because we've not gone there close enough to see what's actually on the station, it's not actually telling us what it needs. I'm guessing this lower one here, considering this is the one that's in more demand than that we're getting more money for, I'm presuming this is going to be the silicon, so it's nowhere near filled. So we've got two options. We can buy a second ship and we can try and provide it with silicon and hope that it doesn't crash the market, or we can buy a bigger ship and deliver more at the same time. Let's have a look at the kind of money. So right click, buy ships. So we were using the small ship for the courier miner there. We now want to have a look at a medium-sized ship, and we've got the drill miner here. You've also got a gas miner. Now gas is completely different, and at the moment I'm not seeing anything that requires gas, so you don't want to go wasting your money. If you start wasting your money on the gas miner, you're going to find yourself with a ship that you can't use, so ignore it for now. Minerals is easy to start off with. You know, from this area we need ore and we need silicon. Ore's not giving us as much money, but we still need it, so there is still a market for it. So let's see how much it's going to cost us. So just the chassis alone is 112 grand. Let's select the minimum preset. 191,000. We have plenty in the bank. We could probably get two of these, but let's just have a look at what we can do to alter it. We can now have a bigger crew. As mentioned in the previous episode, the more crew you have, the more likely you are to gain someone higher level, and the average of all the crew together will increase the overall average of the ship. So we're going to go ahead with 9 service crew. Plus the captain is 10 people. It will pick the highest for the captain already. Consumables. Now, I'm going to show you two things you can do with consumables here. The first one is to use this ship to deploy consumables as it's going around. You still have to manually tell it to deploy the consumables, however it's on board, it's got them, so you may as well use them. Or you can do it with the current ship that you have now without having to fly the ship yourself. And I'm going to explain that in a moment because it's very important. It's also important for the mission to be able to do something like that as well. Now I know somebody commented saying, how do you complete the mission? I'm flying there but then I'm left with no ship. The reason why it gives you credits rather than telling you to just use your ship is because the idea that it doesn't tell you is that you keep your ship and you fly your own ship and you get an AI controlled ship to fly with you to the location, drop it off, abandon crew, and off you go. I'm going to show you how to do that in a roundabout ways with our own ship, because we want our ship to go out there and start deploying some scanners, some satellites, some research, some resource probes and stuff like that, just so we got an idea and we can see where the enemy is. We can also check out these facilities and see what they actually need, because at the moment it's all them question marks and we're going to get rid of them. So we want a docking computer 2. We don't need these two here, and we don't need anything more than a basic scanner. We definitely don't need much in the long range scanner software. If I could, I'd take it off, but unfortunately we can't. We have to have one. It's mandatory. Turrets. We want a mining turret. On either side there are 2 slots. So we have 2 mining turrets. As a matter of fact, I think the turrets are more expensive than the drills. Oh, they're about the same. I'm going to take the mining turrets off actually. I'm just going to give him mining drills. There's only 1 mining drill. So it's a little bit cheaper. You notice there it's just 1 mining drill on one side. That'll be absolutely fine. It'll be a little bit slower, but don't worry about it. If you want it to have some protection, you can give it turrets, you can give it some weapons, pulse weapons if you really want, but it's currently working in an area that's at the moment at peace and there's not many enemies around. We have spotted a few, but nothing to be worried about at the moment. Later down the line, that's something you need to be wary of. I'm kind of happy with the single shield generator. I'm fine with that, it'll do. Thrusters and engines I'm not going to play around with. It's a slow enough ship, it's only smaller, it's cheap, it's going to get us some credits, that's all we need. Everything else is absolutely fine. We've got our docking computer, which is the only thing that we wanted to change, and we've given it a level 2 docking computer. Word of advice, and I know I've commented on it and not really said anything about it, having a docking computer is crucial when you're using the AI. The AI pathing is nowhere near as good as what you can do. Therefore, if you have a docking computer 1 or none at all, it has to be on point perfectly, and it will take forever to do it. Not only that, it may get stuck in an endless loop. I've had the large ships stuck in loops where they've sat outside space stations for over an hour before I've been able to get them. That's over a real hour before I've been able to get them to actually dock. And I've had to physically get into the ship, move it around until it's out of alignment for it to then get itself in alignment. It's an absolute faff. Save yourself the hassle, spend the extra credits and get the docking computer Mark II. It will save you a ton of time, trust me. That is our ship, 294,000 credits. We can probably squeeze to get 2, so I'm going to attempt to get 2. Yes, we can get 2. We have 7,000 credits left. Oh, we don't want to cancel the order, we want to confirm the order.
Requesting permission to dock.
So it's now going to craft them 2 ships. Now, I said to you I wanted to talk about something you can do instead of buying a ship and trying to fly it yourself and lose a ship and all sorts of stuff like that. And also getting the advantage of actually doing something with our current ship instead of just sitting here doing nothing. Because at the moment we've sat here doing absolutely nothing. Now you can go out there and you can drop these yourself, but me personally, I like to micromanage my ships and have a look at some areas where I can develop. You know, I can get some more stuff and start looking at building space stations and stuff like that. So I like to have these things done and dusted for me. When you complete the storyline as well, you unlock teleporting, so you can teleport between your ships. Very useful. So, what do we want to do? How do you get around trying to fly a ship yourself and then losing it? Right click the wharf, upgrade, repair, docked ships. It's the Vanguard, because the Vanguard is currently docked. What you want to do is drop out of there. You want to get your Vanguards, and I usually tend to put them Y2, go, and then get this one here, Y2. That'll break the dock. And we can then do what we need to do. You can tell when it's undocked because it'll start flying off. Okay, so they're both undocked now. So we can try again. Drag it so we can see, right click, upgrade, repair, dock ships. And there is our little elite Vanguard ship we've been using. No pilot. Now we're going to fix that. We're going to go to our crew and we're going to add ourselves a pilot. Yep. Don't know why it's not letting us add a pilot. Maybe it's locked for this ship. But what you can actually do is you can actually get an able crewman or a specialist, which he won't let us do. Maybe it's not available. I'm going to get a service crew. Add to the shopping list.
Awaiting orders.
And confirm order. I don't know where he is, but he's in there. Another thing you can do is you can get out your ship and talk to these people. Hello. Here.
Hello.
We can talk to you. And you can hire him. Gives you little icons here. So he's got morale, 1 star. You can hire. And you can right click the ship you want him to be hired to. Select. You then have to select a role. Captain, Marine or Service Crew. I'm going to put him as a captain.
You won't regret hiring me.
And he's now the captain of our ship. And we completed the mission as well, which is quite handy. I believe it'll actually think this is a suitable ship. And technically it is. This is a way you don't actually have to buy a ship at all. And yes, for some reason it won't allow us to pick a captain or a pilot in that screen, which should do. But obviously talking to him and acquiring him like that has allowed us to give him a pilot. I don't want to get rid of this ship at the moment because this is our only ship to get around. What I am going to do is I'm going to go back to the menu, or map, sorry. I'm going to right click. I'm going to upgrade because I noticed we've got some more credits here because our ship's still working in the background and we haven't done anything whatsoever to it. We're going to get our consumables. We're going to stock up on our satellites, our nav beacons and our resource probes. We'll just do 5 of each. We don't want too much money being spent. Add to shopping list. 23,000. Confirm order. Now, this ship now acts like the other ones. You can give it orders, you can tell it what to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a little flight path for it. Fly to Argon Prime. Press your shift key. Fly to Argon Prime. You can now see the little grey outlines. This is his flight path. Keep hold of the shift key. Fly to. And you can keep doing like such. And I'll explain why I've done this in a moment. I'm then going to cut across to here. Like so. The reason why I use fly to, and you'll notice there's an explore key there as well. Explore is a bit 50-50. I've always found it not as well as flying to things. It tends to mess around for a while and fly in opposite directions and all sorts. Save yourself a lot of hassle and just give yourself a flight path. Not only that, you can actually control where he goes to first. The other good thing is as well, is if we come out of that, close that, come out of our menu, we're being flown about. Look at this. We've got a chauffeur. So you can just chill out and enjoy the view. Look at that. All while you're controlling I'm not sure what he's doing. What is he doing? There you go. Yeah, I'm off it a bit early, I think. Oh no, he's right, he's right. Now, whilst you're flying around doing all this in this ship, you can drop some probes and stuff like that. I haven't told him to drop probes yet. And we'll do that in a short while. I just want to open up this Argon Prime area that we're at the moment just a bit more, just so we can see what we're doing. But we sent our 2 mining ships out. What's this here? We getting a warning? Not sure why he's warning us. Well, let's get him sorted out, shall we? So, information. And we want to tell him to do something. Now, he can hold 4 times the amount the other ship can hold. The other ship is still doing silicon, giving us a bit of a cash inflow. But we want to then change this ship to do it. So, behavior. We don't want to change our formation or anything like that because he's not in a fleet. He's just flying and waiting at the moment. That's his current order queue. We're going to tell him to sector auto mine. And we're going to tell him to mine silicon. And confirm. He will then mine the silicon. I want to keep the ore flowing. And I want to see if there's going to be some profit in the ore. So I'm going to set the second ship to sector auto mine. Or Argon Prime. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to see and make sure that them 2 ships are going to generate us profit. When they both delivered their first load and we can see how much money they make, we'll then decide what our smaller ship will do. And the reason that being is the smaller ships tend to be a little bit more agile and also a little bit quicker mining stuff. So the last thing you want to do is send a big ship in mining a load of ore, iron or whatever, ice, you know, to realise there's nowhere to sell it. Because then you've got 10k meters cubed or whatever it is of ore you can't do anything with. And it's took a while to do it as well, a lot longer than it would do mining 2,600 that the smaller ship takes. So your smaller ship is almost like a scout for profitable stuff. Bear that in mind because it's really useful later down the line when you start going to sectors you're not really familiar with and you want to learn quickly what's going to make you the most profit. Because if you start dropping resource probes everywhere, you're then going to find the stations that's going to take them resources. It's long-winded. Use a smaller ship, it's just like a scout for mining. I think that's going to cover us here on this episode because we've got a lot of information in this episode. You know, some ways on navigating the menus that we've done, a little idea about how you can put a new pilot in your ship who's still flying us around comfortably, casually. We haven't got that stupid noise in the background of all the ships coming in and out. You know, there's a lot of more flexibility. So there's a lot of things covered. Hopefully it's helped you out. Hopefully you can now, you know, have an idea on how to make a bit of money. You can see our credits are rolling nicely. We ain't done nothing properly yet. This is just the, honestly, the tip of the iceberg. This, we're going to start really bringing it in now that we got the larger ships. Hopefully they're going to start mining for us now. But we disappear. Let's double check and see what they're doing. Behavior. Okay, right. This is something I mentioned in the last episode. He's set to fly and wait, and he's holding that order. Remove the order, and then the default behavior becomes the acting behavior. So you fly and wait. Because he's waiting. He's still technically waiting. Remove the order, default behavior kicks in. That's something I forgot, and I apologise for that, but it's good to show you little things like that anyway. We're also starting to see now, we've got areas here of unknown materials. It's probably going to be ore still. The red is generally minerals, and the bluey colours are generally the gases. I'll show you the differences in colours as we start seeing them. So you can see the purpley colour, sorry, not blue coloured, the purpley coloured. That's usually, I think, if I remember rightly, it is the gas. We'll double check. There are certain colours. I don't know off the top of the head what it is, but once we get there, I'll explain that they do represent different things. Right, so they're kicking off now. So we're going to let them tick over for a couple of times. Our small ship is still providing us with plenty of credits. Let's see how he's done over the past couple of deliveries. So we're going to go to our player information again. Over to our logbook. Okay, he's earning, yeah, it's going up every time. So the likelihood is our bigger ship's going to provide us with a massive boost of cash, and we need to switch our little ship over to something else. But as I said, that's it for this episode. Hopefully you have picked up on some more information. I hope I've covered more that you needed. If there's something I haven't covered or something you'd like to know more about, please let me know in the comment section. And if you've really enjoyed this episode, then please hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up, and do me a favour and throw us a share as well if you can. But hopefully you've enjoyed it and you'll come back for the next one. So until next time, everybody, take care for now. Bye bye for now.